Hello SoCal, you're watching OC Spotlight. I'm Dorian Dubois and I'll be your host for this episode. Today we've got a very special guest on the show, Dominique Mosley, who's going to tell us about skateboarding and how it shaped his life. So Dom, when did you start skateboarding and what got you into it?
So I started skateboarding around third to fourth grade, and around that time I moved from Pomona to Upland, California. And with that move, no friends came with me, so I didn't have any friends at the time. And ended up running into this kid named Cameron who lived in my apartment complex. And yeah, he was big on skating and he ended up letting me borrow one of his boards. And that's kind of how I got into it.
That's awesome. And so what did you sort of do with, him and that friend group that you sort of made skating?
We just skated around the apartment complex mainly. It was a big apartment complex, and the roads were surrounding the apartment complex too, so we had enough leeway to skate around. Sometimes we'll go into the apartment complex as well, but it wasn't the best, honestly.
Yeah, of course. And so did you ever get into, skating tournaments or anything like that?
Yeah, so around 6th to 7th grade, that's when I started competing. It wasn't like in big events or big contests and stuff like that, but it was more the local space. So one of the parks in my city is called Memorial Park, and that's where we usually compete. And yeah, it was really fun, honestly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you what was the competitions like? Who did you compete with and stuff like that?
Adults.
Yeah.
It was very intense, very daunting. But
did your whole friend group compete in it?
No, or only like one or two friends. Around this time, I stopped being friends with the Cameron kid, and I had a new friend group and a new skate group, but only one of them liked to compete. The other ones were just like
what was it
casual.
like playing with, competing with older people who had decades more experience skating?
It was intense. You're just competing against adults, so it's not like you're skating with your friends.
Yeah.
These are some people that are really trying to win money or try to elevate and go to the next level.
What did you learn from, competing at that level?
I learned how to talk mess, honestly. Like how to, because words start flying back and forth. But yeah, I learned that. And I really learned from the way that they skated and their styles of skating. And I kind of implemented it into my style of skating as well.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that's about all the time that we have. Thank you so much for your answers. We have to put things on hold here for 1 minute during a commercial break. And after that, Dominique is going to teach us how to do a trick and how to take apart and repair a skateboard. Welcome back to OC Spotlight, everyone. If you've ever wanted to get into skateboarding, this next segment is for you. What trick are you going to be showing us today?
So today I'm going to show you guys how to ollie and pop shove it.
Awesome. Let's get into it.
Alrighty. All right, so with skating, if you're barely getting into it, you have to figure out what stance that you like to do or what you feel comfortable with. Me, I like to ride mango, so I'm facing, if this is north, I'll be facing west. And if you ride regular, you'll be facing east. And in order to do an ollie, first your back foot has to be close to the tail end of the board so you can pop it. And then your right foot can either be closer to the back of the board or it can be in the middle. Me, I like to go in the middle. So yeah, whenever you do an ollie, you make sure the board gets down to the ground, or the tail end of the board gets down to the ground, and then you kind of slide your foot up so you're able to get the pop and go a little bit high. So just to demonstrate, just go like that.
Awesome, good job. And what's the other trick that you're gonna show us today?
It'll be a pop shove it. So similar foot stance. So left foot to the back and then your right foot in the middle, or sometimes you can go closer in, but I like to go in the middle. and then you're basically popping the board up. Your back foot is going back this way, and then your right foot is going up. So yeah, just to give you guys a little understanding of what it is, or visual, just go up, and then you go up.
Sick.
So yeah.
Awesome. And what were you going to be showing us next?
Yeah, so just some parts of the skateboard. So this is your deck. You have your wheels, you have your trucks, and inside of your wheel, you have a bearing, 2 bearings actually. And with the bearings, they can get damaged sometimes. So that's probably one of the main things that you would be replacing.
Okay. How much does that usually run you to replace?
It depends. Me, I like to have like more, these are one of those things where you pay more money for quality, and quality for sure will take you a long way. Yeah, if you have like the cheaper end bearings, which can run you like $20,
Yeah.
they're slower and they obviously can break easier. But the higher quality brands, for sure they'll run you like around $60.
Dang.
But these are one of the bearings. Inside there's metal balls that are interconnected and they spin.
Awesome.
But-
And do you notice the difference between like $20 and $60?
Oh yeah, I went the cheap route a couple of times, and that wasn't the best experience, honestly.
How long do they tend to last, the bearings?
Depends on how extreme you skate. Me, I like to, jump off of stairs, like all these stairs and stuff like that. They would last like 2 months max, to be honest.
Okay, cool. And what about the trucks? How long do those tend to last you?
Good quality ones can last you a very long time, like years. Like this whole board in general lasted me almost a decade.
Dang.
So it's, good quality, good build. The biggest thing though is just to make sure that your board doesn't get wet. If things get wet, then things break easier.
Oh, okay. How often does that sort of happen in the skate world?
If it's wet, often.
Yeah.
And if you are an extreme skater, your boards can snap like pretty fast, especially if they're wet.
Do certain tricks make it snap quicker?
Not necessarily tricks, but it's mainly like the height of wherever you're jumping from.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing us all of those tricks. This was OC Spotlight with Dominique. Thank you so much for telling us about skateboarding, and we'll see you next time.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to OC Spotlight. I'm your host, Dama Mosley, and we have a very special guest for you all, Hunter Spencer, who is a cooking enthusiast, and he's been chefing in the kitchen for a few years now, making delectable meals that would have your mouth watering and your stomach oh so satisfied. He will be making a cost-efficient meal today, and I hope y'all are ready to have some fun, to see some magic, because I know I am. Hunter, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing better than yesterday and better than the day before.
That's always good to hear. So I want to know, how did you get into cooking?
Well, I kind of had to. I was going over to the University of Hawaii Manoa. And I realized, I have about a year left to learn how to fend for myself. So I decided in that year to learn as much as I can about cooking. And so I did. And I brute forced it, experimented with as much as possible, and got to where I am today.
That's wild. So Hawaii, the first thought is, I need to learn how to cook. That's for sure, that's dedication, and it's respectable. But I do want to know, being in Hawaii, did that change or kind of inspire you to cook different meals?
I'd say not really. It more just changed my methods. Since I had access to a stove or an oven, but not really a microwave or an air fryer, I had to adapt my existing recipes to those new cooking implements.
Okay, totally understand that. And now that we're, not in Hawaii, we're in sunny California, who do you cook for nowadays?
Nowadays, I just cook for myself and my parents. However, sometimes we'll go over to my grandma's house where I'll cook for her and my uncle.
Okay, that sounds good. Honestly, cooking for family is really dope, and it's different. But I do want to know, has that changed the way you approach cooking? Like, is it more for comfort, or do you kind of experiment, or is it creativity?
I do a lot of experimentation. When I am cooking, I try to work on a new theory, a new idea of what would or wouldn't taste good in this recipe.
Okay.
And I just keep working on that through and through until I have a recipe that I'm happy with.
Okay, and that's really, really honest, to be honest.
Thank you.
In just a few words, what does cooking mean to you?
A way to be experimentative, a way to be creative, and a way to make something for myself and my family members to enjoy.
Okay, and after this break, I am excited to try this sample of his skills. And after commercial break, we'll stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with our guest, Hunter Spencer, who is already working on his magic. Now, remind everyone what we are going to be cooking today.
Today we're going to be making some cream cheese eggs.
Okay.
Right now I am pouring the egg mixture into the pan, the egg mixture being 2 eggs, some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika.
Okay.
And that has been whisked together thoroughly. It's okay to overmix for this recipe, as we do have a binder coming in later, meaning the cream cheese. So yeah.
Okay. And for a meal like this, what do you typically use for cookware?
For cookware, I typically use a wok or a pan. A pan just like this one works fine, as well as a rubber spatula or just anything flexible that contours to the side and bottom of the pan so you can scoop the eggs up off quickly. You want this to be constantly moving so that it's not sitting in one spot for too time and cooking anything too fast.
Yeah, that's something I need to learn how to do because my food just sticks to the pan, honestly. I feel like it's just sitting there for way too long. And in terms of serving size, it seems like a 1 serving. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how much does it typically cost for this 1 serving?
It typically costs around $5. What I'm doing now is taking 4 ounces of cream cheese. Cream cheese typically comes into a container of 8 ounces. We're taking half of that, which is cream cheese containers typically $5, so $2.50 worth of cream cheese, $1.50 worth of eggs, and we're going to be adding a single chive into the mix, or sorry, green onions for today.
Okay.
What we're doing right now is the cream cheese itself is melting on the pan. It's off the heat currently, which is what we want. Because the eggs, we are almost done cooking. We just need the cream cheese to melt alongside it as they both come to.
It's smelling awesome right now, honestly.
Good to hear.
Yeah. How did you come up with this delectable?
This dish was just kind of improvised in my early stages of learning how to cook. I took 2 great things, cream cheese and scrambled eggs, and combined them into something that I love.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know me, when I experiment, the furthest I'll go is like noodles and hot dogs. So this is good.
It's a good starter dish, yeah.
So I do want to taste this, honestly. It is looking very, very awesome. Do we have anything right now that we can?
We do, in fact, have something that you could try right now.
Oh.
This is the cream cheese eggs made, garnished with some chives and some black pepper.
And what does garnished mean?
It's a fancy word for, hey, we put this on top of your food so it looks better and tastes better.
Wow. This is spectacular, dude.
Good to hear.
You should make a restaurant called cracked eggs.
I've thought about it, and I've thought, maybe not.
Okay. Is a tomato, well, I have a quick question.
Oh, yeah,
Is
yeah.
a tomato a vegetable or a fruit to you?
Is a tomato a vegetable or a fruit? I believe scientifically it's a fruit, but it has the spirit of a vegetable.
Oh my gosh, I can't disagree with you more. Unfortunately, this looks like all the time that we have. I'm Donald Mosley, and this is Hunter Spencer, and I really appreciate you guys for coming out. OC Spotlight.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's edition of OC Spotlight. I'm your host, Evan Pearson, and today we're joined with a very special guest, music hobbyist Dan Giles. Now, I've heard from my sources that Dan is a music lover and musician who's been playing the guitar for the better part of 2 decades. Wow, talk about dedication. Today, we're going to pick his brain a little bit to get a better perspective on his musical journey. How are we feeling today, Dan?
I'm just happy to be here, Evan.
Wow, thanks for coming on OC Spotlight. Let's get right into it, shall we? Why'd you choose the guitar over other instruments?
Funny you say that, because I didn't choose it per se. So my dad is a huge guitar head.
See.
But he didn't learn until he was 30. He went to an Eric Clapton show, it blew his mind, and he decided to learn at that age. And so he was really adamant that my brother and I get started a bit sooner than that, say like 4th grade for me. So yeah, my dad just pushed my brother and I to pick up the guitar and learn because he wanted to be able to play with like my brothers and I and like kind of share that bond together. So
Well, that's
cool.
heartwarming, but I bet you were also some of the coolest kids in school.
Oh, we were extremely cool. Yeah, yeah.
Well, with the guitar, how'd you get started with that? What's the story?
Yeah, so first starting out, it was super stressful for me. It is for probably everyone because you're trying to memorize all these different chord shapes. And it seems really daunting, and especially when you're like in 4th grade, your fingers are tiny. So at first it's super stressful, but after that, you get to the fun part.
Yeah? Well, that's great. Once you had the basics down, what did that look like? Where did you go from there?
Once you have the basics down, you get to move on to learning to play songs that you really like. And suddenly it's like, the sky's the limit. You're like, oh, I really like the song, and hey, I can take this on because I know all the chords from this other song. And you just start to emulate the artists you really like and develop your own style from that.
Yeah, and what does being a musician mean to you personally, Dan?
I think when you're a professional, which I barely scratch the surface of on a good day, you're able to like speak through your instrument and say things through music and through your instrument. I call myself more of a hobbyist just because I'm trying desperately to replicate and reverse engineer great things that other people have said with their instruments, if that makes sense.
Yeah, every musician has a different vision. I've noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just awesome and fascinating, and I'm happy to hear about your journey. We'll get more into your performances in a minute, but first, let's take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more OC Spotlight right after this. Welcome back to OC Spotlight, everyone. If you're just tuning in with us right now, we're joined here today with musician Dan Giles. Now, Dan, I gotta ask, what's going on with this guitar? Why does it look like that? I've never seen something like that before.
That's the question everyone seems to have, Evan. What is going on? So yeah, this is my personal guitar. It's my go-to. It's a special type of acoustic guitar called a resonator. What makes it what makes it a resonator is it has this cone in the body that projects the sound outward and makes it louder and gives it a unique sound that to me sounds almost like halfway to a banjo or something.
I see. Yeah, I've never seen a guitar that looks like that. What sort of thing is a resonator guitar used for?
So I use it for busking, which is playing on a street corner, and that's exactly what it was actually invented for, was busking. It was
I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, no, it was created by jazz musicians in New Orleans in the 1920s. You had jazz guitarists who were playing on street corners with saxophonists, and they needed guitars that were loud enough to keep up with the saxophones. So 1920s, you don't really have electric amplifiers yet, certainly not on a street corner. This was like the organic solution to make a guitar louder.
Well, that's a really innovative solution to that problem. Tell me about where and how you play.
So I like to go busk like down on the main strand in Laguna Beach. It's the main like touristy area nearby, and that's just kind of like showtime. You know, instead of just playing in my room, like messing stuff up, playing the same song over and over, it's like I got people looking, so now I gotta look good.
Yeah.
I gotta sound good, but I especially gotta look good.
Any panhandling going on there?
You could call it that if you want, but yeah, I'll put out a tip jar and get some gas money. Why not?
Get that bag, dude.
Yeah, secure the bag.
Now, let's move on from performances to one of your own. You got anything for us today, Dan?
Yeah, it's not my own per se. I didn't write it. Sublime did, but it's my one of my warm-up songs.
Show us.
Yeah. Early in the morning, rise up to the street, light me up that cigarette, and I'll slap shoes on my feet. Got to find a reason things went wrong. I've got to find a reason that my money's all gone. I got a Dalmatian, but I can still get high, and I can play the guitar like a motherfucking right. And I'll just end that right there.
Bravo, Dan. That was awesome. That was a nice little flourish at the end there.
Thanks.
Now, tell me more about that song, like the chords.
So that song is my warm-up song because it's pretty simple. It's actually, for the most part, just the same two chords over and over again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Would you mind showing me?
Absolutely, yeah. So the song's just a D and G over and over again.
Okay.
A D is going to be like an upside-down triangle kind of shape. So you're going to play the 2nd fret there, the 3rd fret there, and the 2nd fret there.
I see. All right.
And that's all there is to it. Just
Right
play,
here?
Yep, just play the lower strings. That's it.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. And then if you want to play a G, it's just the 3rd fret there and the 2nd fret there, and that'll do.
Like that?
Yeah. There you are.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I'm not that musically talented. Well, we need to wrap this up. So thank you so much for sharing your talent with us, Dan. It was nice to get a glimpse into your life and your journey as a musician. Thanks for tuning into OC Spotlight. See you next week.